This simple video recorder improved my video capture for content creation more than I ever expected. This video is not a product review, but I want to share how the DJI Osmo Pocket 3 has become an integral part of how I capture video to use in content creation here in 2026. You know, some of the features I really love about the Osmo Pocket 3 or just the Pocket 3 is its simplicity, right? And I love its convenience. I mean, this is it in its entire form factor. It's in a hard shell case that's easy to drop into a bag, easy to drop into my backpack, easy to drop into a pocket and carry it with you. So I do find myself carrying it much more frequently than I have in the past, just because of its size, convenience, and form factor. I'll give you an example of what, again, if you watch my last video, I've loved to capture video over the years, going back 25, 30 years. Never did anything with them. That's going to change this year. But, you know, some of the things that I used to use in the past, I've got right here. Take a look at these. When my kids were in like middle school and maybe into the first years of high school, I was carrying this around. I actually had an anamorphic lens that screws onto the front of this because I wanted to capture the best images possible. But you never just threw this in the car just to capture everyday moments. Yeah. Then I progressed to this one, probably about half the size of the last one, but still not something you want to carry around every day. By the time you put the charging brick with it and the case, and you got to throw some spare tapes in, a couple spare batteries. Again, not something you want to carry on an everyday basis. I don't have every camcorder that I used to own. Over the years, I did get rid of some, but eventually made its way to this size. Look at this. This was pretty slick. Much smaller, again, but not the feature set that's available today. That was just to show you the progression over the years that I've gone through. And again, going back to this, throw it in a shirt pocket, throw it in my pants pocket, throw it in a backpack, easy. And another thing that makes the whole process smoother is I don't have to sacrifice quality for convenience. So I get great video quality with it. I get the great audio quality. I get simplicity, and I'm not having to lug around some of those camcorders I showed you, especially that old one that shot on 8mm tapes. And you carry all that gear around to get pro level video recording. So that's what I love about this. I've mentioned a couple things that make the DJI Osmo Pocket 3 the ideal video recorder for me at this point in time. And a couple of those features are the convenience and also the simplicity. But the third thing is also the complexity. It does so much more that I haven't even explored, right? It will do, shooting a flat color profile D-Log M, that I can do put some LUTs on it and get a more cinematic look. That's something I hope to, not that I hope to, something that I will work on this year. That's one of my goals as I progress and improve my video content. So I'll be working on that. And then there's also the Pro mode where you can adjust the settings, again, to get those more cinematic looks. So everything about it I just love about the Pocket 3. Today, we had actually gone to one of the local wineries, did some wine tasting, and brought the Pocket 3 with me, shoot some video. And just some cool features I want to, again, progress this year. And so I was fooling around with some of the settings, put it on slow motion, captured really cool video of swirling one of the red wines in the wine glass. I mean, just incredible technology in this, incredible convenience. That's why this is such a wonderful tool for me. Without the Pocket 3, things would be a little harder. I could go one of two routes. One route I could go with a bigger setup, and for a while I actually toyed around with using a full frame Sony camera. I love the idea of the interchangeable lenses, but at that point you're carrying around a lot of gear and it's a lot more complex. Not as simple as this just to get out and start video shooting. But the other option is to go with a phone. I could, the phones today are incredible, but I don't get that full feature set that I do. So that's why this is the ideal sweet spot for me, is this Pocket 3. I talked about the simplicity of it. Again, just take it out of its, snap it out of its case, flick the screen, and you're recording. It's that simple. And then, the convenience and some other things, right? I just put a tripod on that quick, set it on a desk, set it on a bench, and I can record. It's got active track built in, active track movement. So I'll do a little demonstration here. You can see, thanks to E.T. and his friends for helping out with this. E.T. and Elliott, appreciate you helping out with that, demonstrating the active track here. And it's even got, we talked about not having to sacrifice the quality. Pro level features with the size of the sensor. It's got a 1-inch sensor in it, capturing great video quality. Pro level. I can do a shallow depth of field with an object up close. And we'll use E.T. and Elliott again to demonstrate that. Take a look at that. At the end of the day, the reason I keep reaching for the Pocket 3 isn't just because it's easy. It's because it's the first tool that I found that just doesn't get in my way because it's so simple to use. I find myself using it when I just need to quickly capture something and I don't have to worry about planning in advance and the friction of carrying a ton of gear with me. You know, I used to think that I had to choose between a simple setup and sacrifice quality, or a complex setup and do a bunch of planning and lug a bunch of gear around. But this simple tool, the Osmo Pocket 3, has showed me that I can focus on content creation and let the device handle the complexity for me, not have to worry about that. And that allows me to focus on the story, focus on capturing the content, but it's complex enough to keep up with me as I get better at this. It's basically removed the excuse of, I need better gear, I need different gear in order to do this correctly. This is the right gear. This does give me the tools I need. And that's why it's become the backbone of my video capture. I love this video recorder and it hits all the right spots for me. And so that's just a huge relief on me. It allows me to tell the story, capture the story, and share that story. Now, again, I do want to grow in my skills in using this year, and that's definitely what I'm going to do. Use some more of the advanced features, and that's what I want to do. But for today, it gets the job done. You know, it's such a tiny camera, but it's made such a big impact on how I show up and capture video.